Namaste and welcome to the tutorial on systematic cyclic code encoder. In this tutorial, we will discuss the working of a systematic cyclic code encoder. So here the encoder works in the two steps to generate our code vector. So in the step 1, this switch is kept at the position 1 and the message input bits from D0 to DK-1 will be sent over the communication channel, as well as they are sent to the system through the gate, so as to generate the parity bits. Then after these message bits are sent in a order that the bit at the position DK-1 will be the first bit available on the communication channel and in the system, and the bit at the position D0 will be the last bit which will be available on the communication channel as well as in the system. After successful transfer of the K message bits, this switch will be shifted at the position 2, and then the remainder, that is the parity check bits which are available at the registers, will be retrieved and sent on the communication channel, and this gate will be closed off. So here in this way the code vector is generated and it is sent over the communication channel by using a systematic cyclic code encoder. So let's see the operation of encoder with the example. So here we are supposed to design an encoder for 7,4 systematic cyclic code generated by a generator polynomial 1 plus x plus x cube, and we also have to verify the operation for the message word 1101. So let's consider over here the value of n is equal to 7 and the k is equal to 4 as the message bits are 4. So the generator polynomial is 1 plus x cube. Here this generator polynomial we can rewrite with its position coefficients so as to form our encoder. So here if you observe, the coefficient of 1, as the 1 is available in the polynomial, so therefore the coefficient of 1 we are considered as a 1. As x is present in the polynomial, therefore the coefficient of x is also considered as in 1. Here as the x square term is not present, therefore the coefficient of the term x square is considered as a 0, and the coefficient of x cube is considered 1 as it is present in this polynomial. So here the value of g0 is 1, g1 is 1, g2 represents 0 and g3 represents 1. Therefore our encoder will look something like this. So here as g0 is present, the connections from your gate will be available till r0. Similarly, we will have a connection from the gate which are moving towards this XOR gate to form our input to the shift register R1, along with the output of the shift register R0. So here if you observe this R00, R10 and R20 represents the output of respective registers, whereas R0 dash, R1 dash and R2 dash are represent as an input to the respective registers. Here D represents the message input bits, and D dash is the value of the bit which will be considered as in feedback going towards these registers. So therefore we will verify the operation for the message word 1101. So let's consider this message bits. So the relationship is given as over here by considering this encoder is the R0 dash, that is the input to the shift register R0, is equal to D dash, as we can see over here. Then the input for this shift register R1 is nothing but R1 dash, which is equal to the XORing is R00, that is the output of R0 register, and the D dash. Similarly, the input for the register R2, that is the R2 dash, is nothing but the output of a register R1, that is R10, as we have written over here. And the D dash is nothing but the modulo 2 summation of the output of R2 register, that is nothing but R20, and our data bits or the message bits. So D dash is equal to R20 plus D. Here plus or the addition represents the modulo 2 addition. So following the sequence is achieved at the output. So we will write the sequence in the tabular format, so that to understand the working of this encoder and to verify it for the message bit 1101. So if you we have written the input bit D in the first column, and the register inputs, that is R0 dash, R1 dash, R2 in the next respective columns, and the last columns we are having the output of these respective registers. So let's start. Initially we will consider that all the registers are reset. That means all the registers are having are initialized, and hence the values of their input as well as output is 0. So we will consider that first bit is enter, as we have to enter from the last bit to the first bit. So we will enter first D3 bits, that is dk minus 1 bit, that is a D3, that is equal to 1. So therefore we will observe that as the bit D is entered, the value of D dash, which is nothing but the which is calculated by using this equation, is coming out as in 1. Then we will calculate the next value, that is for the R1 dash. R1 dash can be calculated by considering this this equation. So the value of R00 is equal to 0, and the value of D dash is coming out as in 1, as shown over here. So therefore the value over here which is coming is equal to 1. The next we will find out what is the R2 dash. R2 dash is nothing but simply the value of R10, which is nothing but the output of register R1. So that is nothing but 0, and therefore the value for the R2 dash in this case is coming out as in 0. Now as these are the input of the shift register, they will appear as an output after the first shift. So after first shift you will observe all these inputs are appearing at the output of every shift register. So now this is the new values available for the second bit that we will be considering now. The second bit that will be entering is nothing but the 0, that is a D2 value. So as we are considering D is equal to 0, let's find out what is the D dash. So D dash coming out over here is equal to 0 because the value of R20 as well as D is equal to 0, and therefore by using this equation we get D dash is equal to 0. So therefore as D dash is equal to 0, the input for the R0, that is a R0 dash, also becomes 0. Then we will find out the value for the R1 dash. So by considering the value of R00, that is 1, and the value of D dash, which is equal to 0, the value for R1 dash is coming out as in 1. Similarly we will find out what is the R2 dash. So R2 dash is simply R10, which is over here, is equal to 1. So therefore we will substitute that in this column. So after the second shift, after the completion of this operation in the second shift, these input bits will be available at the output of the register. Hence the changing the status of the output of each register. So now we will consider the third bit, that is 1. So as here the third bit we have entered 1, can you tell me what will be the value of D dash over here? Just pause this video for let's say 5 minutes and think what will be the value of D dash, and then come back to this video again and then resume your video again. Hope you got the answer, and this answer for the D dash is coming out as in 0, because the value because D dash is equal to R20 plus D, and here the value of R20 is 1 as well as the value of D is also equal to 1, and therefore their modulo 2 summation or modulo 2 addition is equal to 0. Therefore D dash will hold the value 0, and therefore R0 dash is also becomes 0. Now let's calculate the value for the R1 dash. So here R1 dash is nothing but the R00 addition with summation with the D dash. So R00 is 1 and D dash value is 0. So therefore the value for R1 dash is coming out as in 1, as equal to 0, because here it is equal to 0. Modulo 2 addition with 0 is coming out as in 0. So therefore we will go for the next value now, that is the R2 dash, which is equal to R10, and that is here as in 1. So therefore it is equal to 1. So with the shift, the output of the every register will become 0, 0, 1. So now we will insert the last bit, that is D0, and we will find out what will be the final values available at the registers. So the last bit is 1, and therefore the value for the D dash is again coming out as in 0, because the value of R20 and the D is equal to 1. So therefore their modulo 2 addition becomes 0, and therefore R0 dash is also becoming 0. Now the value for the R1 dash is nothing but the R00 plus D dash. So the value of R00 is 0 as well as the value for D dash is also 0, and therefore the value for our R1 dash is coming out as in 0. Similarly, the value for the R2 dash is nothing but the R1 dash, which is represented here as in 0, and therefore this value is also become 0. So the after shift, you will observe that all the register outputs are becoming 0, and that is nothing but are parity bits. So this is the result that we got from the encoder. If you apply the method of getting parity bits by using the steps that we have discussed in the last tutorial to get systematic code vectors for the cyclic code, you will observe that the parity bits by applying the steps that we have discussed are coming out as in same. So by using those steps as well as by using the encoder, you can verify whether you are getting the results same or not. So obviously the results will be same. So therefore here, by considering these parity check bits, we can write our code vector for the message word 1101 as shown over here. So first 3 bits, that is a parity bits, that is 0, 0, 0, and the next 4 bits will be nothing but our message bits. So this represents our code vector, which you can verify by using our steps that we have discussed in the last tutorial to get systematic cyclic codes. You can self-try for this example by using the encoder. First you have to design the encoder, and then you can verify the